Okay, for geometry, here are your notes for 3.3. This is all about using the converse statements to determine that the lines are parallel. So you guys have already learned the corresponding angles theorem. You guys have already learned the alternate interior angles theorem. You guys have already learned the same side interior angles theorem. And you've already learned about alternate exterior angles. So what is different in this one? The thing that is different this time is that we're doing the converse. So before, I would have told you that the two lines are parallel. I would have told you that L and M are parallel, and therefore you would have determined that angle 2 and angle 6 are congruent because they're corresponding. Now I'm doing the exact opposite. I'm telling you that angle 2 is congruent to angle 6, and therefore, because of the converse of the corresponding angles theorem, we know that angle L is parallel now to angle M. So it's the same exact thing you've already learned, it's just opposite. So now we're using the relationship between the angles to say, okay, well then if these two are congruent, then the two lines must be parallel. So same thing for alternate exterior. If these two, or sorry, alternate interior, if these two angles are congruent, therefore the lines must be parallel. L is parallel to M. If angle 3 plus the measure of angle 6 added together equals 180, then therefore, because of same side interior angles theorem, the converse must be true. L is parallel to M. And then same thing for the very last one. The converse of alternate exterior would be that if 1 and 7 are congruent, then based on the fact that these two are alternate exterior angles, line L and line M must be parallel. Okay, so those are your notes. Let's actually look now at the next page and see if we can figure out some of these answers. Okay. Sorry, had to grab a different one. So on the next page it says which lines are parallel if angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. All right, well, in order to determine which lines are parallel, look at the relationship between 1 and 2. Based on A and B cut by transversal M, 1 and 2 would be corresponding. So we can say that line A is parallel to line B because of the converse of the corresponding angles theorem. All right, the next one, if angles 6 and 7 are congruent, 6 and 7. So this would also be, this would be the different direction. This would be L and M because B this time is the transversal. So based on converse of corresponding, because of converse of corresponding angles theorem, L and M would be parallel. Okay, take a look at the picture of the fence. I know it's kind of hard to see, but it says the fence gate at the right is made up of pieces of wood arranged in various directions. Suppose angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. Based on that, our lines R and S parallel. So they're wondering if this line is parallel to this line. And I hope you see that they are, because the relationship between angles 1 and 2, if they're congruent, they're alternate exterior. So yes, because of the converse of the alternate exteriors angles theorem. All right, let's look at the next page. The next page says, what is the value of x for which A would be parallel to B? So if we're saying we want A to be parallel to B, what does x need to be? Well, look at the relationship between these. These are same side interior, which means they're supplementary. So I would put 2x plus 9 plus 111 degrees has to add up to 180 because they are supplementary. So just doing some quick algebra, we are going to subtract 120 from both sides. 2x equals 60, which means divide both sides by 2. X would be equal to 30 degrees. So we would need x to be equal to 30 in order to make A parallel to B. All right, let's take a look at this one now. So if we want to try to make C parallel to D, the relationship first between the 55-degree angle and the 3w minus 2 is that they're corresponding are congruent to each other. So we're going to set them equal to each other. So we would add 2 on both sides. 57 would equal 3w. If you divide 57 by 3, I believe w, I just switched them sides, but it doesn't matter, would equal 19. All right, next page. Okay, the next page is just, a lot of these are a review. It's just flipping it on you. Find the measure of the angle to make U and V parallel, these U and V parallel lines. So these are corresponding, so this would be 130. This is actually a good time to push pause and just try this whole page by yourself, and then come click on and make sure you did them all correctly. Number 2 would be 128 because they're alternate interior. Number 3 would be 66 because they're alternate exterior. Number 4 would be 100 because they are same side interior. Number 5 would be 90 because they are same side interior. Number 6 would be 81 because they are corresponding. Number 7 would be 53 because they are corresponding. And number 8 would be 58 because they are alternate, exterior if you look at, no, it'd be alternate interior if you look at U and V. Okay, last page. Last page, 9 and 10 are just a continuation of the previous page. So this one would be 50 because they are same side interior. Number 10 would be not 117. It would be whatever 117 from 180 is, which I believe is 63. Okay, looking at the bottom ones, go ahead and after you know kind of what you're doing, this is just more algebra. If you know the relationship, you know whether to set them equal to each other, like in number 11, or whether you set them, trying to find one that, I think they're all equal to each other. I don't see any same side interior. So push pause, and when you come back on, I'm not going to work all of these out, but I'm going to have the answers posted on here for you. So push pause and try them now. Okay, if you're coming back on here to check your answers, on number 11, I got x was equal to 6. On number 12, I got x was equal to 7. On number 13, I got x was equal to -7. You can have x equal -7. You just can't have the an angle equal to a negative number. But x could be a negative number. Number 14, I got 6. Number 15, I got 12. And number 16, I got 8. Okay, and we are not going to worry about doing problem numbers 17 or 18 for your notes for today.